Joining us now is Candace Sampson from lifeinpleasantville.com. And Candace, you're here today to share 3 amazing tours in northern Italy that cannot be missed with Live Italy Tours.
Yes.
Dying to hear this, my favorite country.
I seriously think you could go to Italy, 100 times and not see enough of it.
No.
It is just one of the most fascinating, beautiful countries out there from top to bottom. But this time when I went, we focused on the northern part of it. So we started in Milan, we went to Verona, Venice, the Dolomites, and then dropped down to Tuscany and Cinque Terre and back up to Milan. So sort of like a figure 8 around the top of it. And I knew we were sort of pressed for time in some of the locations. So Verona, Venice, and Cinque Terre. So I knew that getting a guide is the best way to go because you just miss so much if you're not from the area and you don't know it and you don't have time to explore. So I reached out to Live Italy because I worked with them last year when we did our tour in Rome and Orvieto. And because they're a small family-owned company who's really passionate about Italy, that passion goes through to the people that they work with. So they also keep their tours very small, so maximum of 6 people. So that means you're not having to strain to hear the guide talk to you, and they can actually adjust the tour slightly depending on your interests. You can spend more time at one thing or move on to something quicker if you're not interested. So we went to Verona initially to see Elton John.
Oh, yes, that didn't work out.
Who canceled?
Yeah.
I was so bummed. I even bought shoes, really sparkly, fabulous shoes to see Elton John, and he canceled. I am so depressed.
But you still have the shoes.
But I still have the shoes. I'll have to find somewhere to wear them. But that being said, I had to ask myself afterwards, would I go to Verona outside of seeing a concert, because that was the original purpose for going to Verona. And I would say absolutely, without a doubt, Verona's beautiful. And our Live Italy guide was able to sort of navigate us through and show us. And one of the places there is Casa di Giulietta, which is Juliet's balcony. The funny thing about it is
Romeo,
right.
that Juliet.
It's crazy busy there, but it's like you want to say to people, you are aware this is fiction, right?
And it didn't end so well for a 3-4 day love story.
It's not really romantic, but that being said, people flock to it to stand under the balcony and get a kiss, and obviously to rub Juliet's breast. There is a bronze,
I did not know that.
There is a bronze statue of Juliet, and people love to rub her breast. Apparently, it gives you good
breast.
Yes,
okay.
They've had to replace that statue, by the way, because her breast has been rubbed so often. Because it's supposed to give you good luck and love. So people are rubbing her breast all day long. So anyway, we
you learn something new on this show every day.
So we did that, and then obviously we sort of moved on quickly from that because we were quite aware that it is fiction and it was a little bit of a tourist trap. So we left from that, and our guide took us around. And one of the perks of working with a guide is that they can show you things you would not pick up. Like she was showing us things like we walked by an ice cream shop, and she stopped us and she said, "Everybody look at the bottom of this ice cream shop. Old building, and it had a gravestone that was built for the foundation." That was repurposed, I guess, at some point, over the centuries. Somebody stole it from a graveyard and used it to build this building. Or she was showing us watermarks from where the river overflowed that were, 10, 12 feet above our heads. Crazy flooding. These are things you would never pick up without a guide. Frescoes on random walls that if you weren't looking up, you'd miss, right? So that's the beauty of having a guide. And of course, in Verona, there is the arena that Elton John was supposed to play at that dates back
She's
to...
still
I know,
bitter.
I'm stuck. And I want Elton John to see this video. But there is an arena there that dates back to 1 AD that is still in use, which is unbelievable. They have concerts there all the time and operas, so it's not to be missed. It really is worthwhile seeing. Next up was Venice, and Venice is sort of the poster child for you need to have a guide.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
You need to have a guide.
65,000 people a day descend on Venice. So, just even trying to get through that many people to the sites like the Grand Canal and the Rialto Bridge, you need somebody to navigate you through that, who knows the smaller alleys where there's nobody and can find you quiet spaces to enjoy. So our guide in Venice was incredible. And we did a tour of Venice and then with a tour through St. Mark's. But she found us places like where Marco Polo grew up, and it was quiet. There was nobody around us.
Yeah.
And we would never have found that on our own.
And there are other things too that they'll alert you about local restaurants, not the ones that
Yes.
all the tourists go to. And
Yeah.
they are, of course, much better. And of course, the grandmother's there,
Yeah.
and people are breastfeeding there. I mean, the whole family's there,
Yeah.
and there's not a tourist in sight.
No, it's incredible. It's amazing. And we were there on June 2nd, the day the cruise ship ran into the.
I was going to ask you if you were there then.
We were there that day, and but also it was Festa de la Senza, and our guide took us into St. Mark's and was able to show us where these statues come out on the St. Mark's clock. They only do it twice a year,
Right.
which is amazing. And she knew, so we were standing there's thousands of people around us who had no idea what was going to happen. So that's the perk of a guide.
So
right?
if anybody wants to connect with them, how do they find out more?
Well, I also have information about Cinque Terre, which we don't have time to get into today, but you have to do this. Incredible tour is actually the highlight for me. So you can go to my site and you can check out what I have to say about those 3 tours. But if you're looking to book anywhere in Italy for a tour, liveitaly.com is the place to go.
And that's L-I-V.
L-I-V.
T-A-L-Y.
Yes, and they have tours all over Italy, and their guides are amazing. And
Awesome.
It's a plus. Everybody has to do it.
Even if there's no Elton John. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you, Candace.
For our shoes.
Well, she said she's magical, mystical, a powerful, wonderful.